You break up, you get back together again. You break up again, you get back together again. And it's this never-ending cycle, this on again, off again, toxic relationship mess. So I'm going to cover 5 hard truths in this video about on again, off again relationships and why you may want to reconsider staying on this bus. So let's talk about it. Truth number 1, the cycle gets more and more toxic every single time it happens. Because trust erodes every time there's a breakup and then a reconciliation. And true love cannot exist without trust. And if every time you break up, trust goes down a little bit, eventually it's going to get down to next to nothing. And then you can't build a relationship on that, at least not a successful one. But the arguments also become more intense every time there's a breakup and then a reconciliation. Both of you get a lot more defensive with these arguments, and you begin to bring up past arguments from previous relationship incarnations, and it's just creating this argumentative, toxic mess. Truth number 2, you're addicted to the chaos. This level of drama actually kind of creates dopamine and serotonin hits in the brain. So chemically, you sort of become addicted to the intensity of this kind of back and forth relationship. And you mistake chaos for passion. I know I've been guilty of that, and probably you have too. And because of that intensity, when you do make up, it feels amazing. You think, well, maybe this time it's going to be for real. Maybe this time it's going to last, and it never does. But this kind of addiction is never going to allow for the development of a healthy relationship. Truth number 3, external forces keep you stuck in this never-ending cycle. For one, there's a fear of starting over and like, oh my God, I got to get back on the dating apps. I got to meet new people. I'm middle-aged now. It's going to be so hard and so draining. Like, well, maybe being in this toxic relationship is better than that. But you also have shared family and friends and social circles. And how do you explain this to everybody if you end it for good? Who gets to choose what friends? It's just a mess. And most people stay in mediocre relationships or even toxic ones because it seems somehow easier than starting from scratch. But there might be family pressure to stay together. Well, aren't you guys going to get married? You seem so great together. I'm not getting any younger, Junior. And that kind of thing. And if you've invested any level of time in this relationship, you may feel like it's a complete waste to just throw it away at this point and start over. And so you stay in this mess because you don't want to give up what you've already invested. But guess what? You're just doubling down on something that is doomed to failure. Truth number 4, one person always has more power than the other one. And this is especially true if it's usually one of you that always does the breaking up part. Every time you break up and then get back together again, they get a little bit more power, and then the other person, their self-esteem plummets, their boundaries become non-existent, and they begin to feel worthless and develop codependency on this other person that now has all the power. And truth number 5, the final breakup is inevitable. And I know earlier I said never-ending cycle, but the reality of it is this will eventually come to a complete end because one or both of you are just going to get completely fed up with how toxic everything is. And it's because if nothing changes, you're always going to get more of the same. Only way this could possibly work is if both of you commit to changing things about yourselves that are contributing to the demise of the relationship. Ideally, both of you should be in individual therapy as well as doing couples counseling together. And if both of you can commit to that and actually do that, that's great. That means there is a chance of success here. But if you're not willing to do that, or if one of you isn't willing to do that, there's almost no way this relationship isn't going to come to a complete end, and it's usually going to end very badly. Where are you at on this journey? Have you been stuck in a never-ending cycle or seemingly never-ending cycle of on again, off again? And are you doing anything about it, or are you just riding the wave, hoping things will change, even though neither of you is actually doing anything to create a change? Let me know your story down in the comments, but for now, I'll see you in the next video.